Spending holidays in Sweden is an experience that will make your dreams come true. It offers its visitors not only rich history and medieval towns, but also plenty of extraordinary events where you can enjoy the authentic atmosphere of the past. Visit with us its beautiful snowy Lapland, world-known natural landmarks with unforgettable northern lights in the winter, and the most extraordinary tourist attractions, which you cannot find anywhere else. Sweden will provide you with many special entertainment opportunities, not only for smallest ones, but also for older visitors without limits. Uncover the legacy of this historical maritime power and experience the unique touch with local traditions in many Scandinavian open-air museums. Haven't you already decided where to go on your visit to Sweden? Discover with us the best places to see in this beautiful Nordic country, which offers endless tourist attractions. Number 1. Malmö. Located in the southernmost region of Sweden, the port city of Malmö was one of the earliest and most industrialized towns in Scandinavia. Now it is one of the country's fastest-growing cities. Originally a Danish city, founded in the 13th century, a beautiful medieval old town with many colorful historical buildings will enchant your senses. Swedish Malmö and the area around Denmark's capital Copenhagen are connected by the Øresund Bridge, the longest combined railroad bridge in Europe. With a total length of 7,845 meters, it was opened in 2000. Thanks to the bridge, it currently takes only about 40 minutes to travel between two cities. We recommend a walk by the seaside in Malmö. It will reward you with unique and breathtaking sunset views. You cannot miss the impressive Malmö Castle from the 15th century. Historically, this fortress was one of the most important strongholds of Denmark. The building is the oldest preserved Renaissance castle in Scandinavia. Today you can find Malmö City Museum with many exciting attractions, including a new aquarium. The museum collection includes old paintings, a gallery dedicated to Nordic art, stuffed animals, and torture instruments. If you like to discover hidden treasures during your journey, visit the historical Castle Mill, built in 1851, located just a short distance from Malmö Castle. The mill and the adjacent miller's house, including the garden, are fully furnished, and you will learn about the living and working conditions of a miller's family from the 19th century. Do not forget to visit Stortorget, the historic market square. With 2,500 square meters, it is also the most significant and oldest square in the city. In the center stands a giant equestrian statue of King Carl X Gustav, a unifier of the Swedish Empire and the Conqueror. There is also a magnificent town hall from the 16th century, with renewed facade in the Dutch Renaissance style. Just 200 meters from Stortorget Square is situated another famous landmark, St. Peter's Church. This massive brick Gothic church is the oldest building in the city. Its imposing tower is 98 meters tall. The murals and decor are beautiful and provide a great insight into history. You can admire a majestic altarpiece made in 1611. With a height of 15 meters, it is one of the largest in the Nordic countries. The city can boast one more first. It is home to the tallest building in Scandinavia, the Turning Torso. This residential building, built in 2005, is 190 meters high, has 54 floors, and has 147 apartments. Soon another city, Swedish Gothenburg, will take over this championship. Number 2. Marstrand. If you are looking for a seaside resort, do not miss a visit to Marstrand on Sweden's west coast. It is just a 45-minute drive from Gothenburg, the country's second largest city. Marstrand, a town since 1200, is situated on two islands and has an enchanting atmosphere reminiscent of the French Riviera. The number one tourist attraction here is the 17th century Karlsten Fortress, a majestic stone structure that guards the town. The site provides a unique vantage point from which you can look out across the water and admire the natural wonders that Sweden has to offer. While visiting, do not miss exploring the city's fully decorated, pastel-colored historic buildings that line the cobbled streets. The harbors of this Nordic country provide an inimitable atmosphere. In addition to the city's numerous shops and restaurants, There is also a spa, which is legendary in Sweden. So if you want to get a full, lavish experience that attracts the rich and famous to this city, treat yourself to a Swedish massage. If you are a lover of sailing, this area is also extremely popular as a yachting destination. Major annual sporting events held in Marstrand include the world-famous Stina Match Cup Sweden and the Marstrand Regatta in July. These events attract more than 100,000 spectators each year. Number 3. Uppsala. It is located just 70 kilometers north of Stockholm, the country's capital, and its origins date back to the 12th century. Since 1164, Uppsala has been the ecclesiastical center of Sweden. This coronation city in the past served as one of the royal residences of the Swedish monarchs. Do not miss Scandinavia's largest cathedral. Its twin towers reach amazing 118.7 meters. This French Gothic-style building was built in the 13th century and was a frequent coronation site for Swedish monarchs until the end of the 19th century. Right at the entrance, you will be attracted by the golden ornate pulpit from 1710, the largest in Sweden. The interior of this imposing building is decorated with many beautiful picturesque frescoes created over the centuries. The cathedral's largest chapel, now known as the Vasa Chapel, became a burial monument for King Gustav I Vasa and his family. Gustav I has subsequently been labeled the founder of modern Sweden and the father of the nation. At the west end, you can find the main organ built in 1871. It still has several French Romantic features. Located in the North Tower is the Cathedral Treasury Museum. It displays a number of gold and silver articles used in religious services. Be sure to visit Uppsala Castle, originally constructed in 1549 by King Gustav Vasa. Throughout much of its early existence, the royal castle played a significant role in the history of Sweden. Today, the structure houses the official residence of the governor of Uppsala County, various private businesses, and 2 museums, Uppsala Art Museum and the Vasa Fortress. Near the castle, you can find the University of Uppsala Botanical Garden, created on land donated to the university in 1787. There is a magnificent Baroque garden, a 200-year-old orangery with its majestic halls, and the only rainforest in Uppsala. Uppsala University also maintains 2 satellite botanical gardens. One of them is Linnaeus Hammarby, the former summer home of Carl Linnaeus and his family. This Swedish botanist, zoologist, and taxonomist lived in the 18th century and is known as the father of modern taxonomy. Did you know Uppsala University is the oldest center of higher education in Scandinavia? It was founded in 1477. Number 4. Lund. Often referred to as the oldest city in modern-day Sweden, Lund has a history spanning more than 1,000 years. It is the southernmost part of the country and is only an hour's drive from Denmark's capital, Copenhagen. Walking around, you will come across many historical buildings from different periods, such as the Krogno-huset, the oldest preserved secular building in Lund. It was built around 1300. In the city center, it is impossible to miss Lund Cathedral, one of the oldest stone buildings still in use in Sweden. It was built circa between 1090 and 1145 and is often referred to as the most powerful representative of Romanesque architecture in the Nordic countries. Lund Cathedral has 6 church organs, one of which is the largest in Sweden. Do not miss their famous, colorful 14th century astronomical clock with figures of the 3 kings, which emerge twice daily at noon, at 3 p.m. on weekdays, and 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. on Sundays. The city is anchored by one of Scandinavia's oldest and largest institutions for education and research. Lund University was established in 1666, and until around 1800, the entire institution was contained in Kungshuset, which in translation means King's House. Nearby is the university's impressive new main building, built in the 19th century. When visiting the city, be sure to visit the local parks full of splendid flowers and beautiful fountains. In the very center, on more than 8 hectares, is the University Botanical Garden, founded in 1690. It is open daily to the public without charge. Here you can discover more than 7,000 species of plants. The area is complemented by greenhouses, representing 9 different climate zones. Number 5. Ystad. Welcome to Ystad, a place of pilgrimage for fans of detective stories. Famous Swedish author Henning Mankell often used this area to chart the story of fictional detective Kurt Wallander. In addition to the detective's favorite cafe, Fridolf's Konditori, the city offers many historical heritages. The settlement dates from the 11th century and has become a busy ferry port, local administrative center, and popular tourist destination. Do not miss a visit to the Greyfriars Abbey from the 13th century as you stroll through the city. It is one of the best preserved medieval monasteries in Sweden. Today it houses the Museum of the Cultural History of Ystad. The buildings are exclusively erected in red brick. Just 300 meters from the abbey is situated the main church of the city, St. Mary's Church. It was built in the 13th century and is highly influenced by Gothic Hansa architecture, a special Baltic brick Gothic substyle. Inside there are 2 large medieval crucifixes, on one of which the sculpture of Jesus is adorned with real hair. Ystad is one of the southernmost towns in Sweden and is surrounded by many beautiful sandy beaches. For fans of fresher waters, the temperature in the Baltic Sea reaches up to 20 degrees Celsius in the summer. And for others, these beaches are also an ideal place for a walk or sunset run. Approximately 22 minutes by car from the city, there is a unique megalithic monument, Ailes Stones. The age of the site is currently assumed to be 1,470 years old, but there are indications that it may be as old as 5,500 years. It is widely believed to be a grave monument, such as a stone ship or a cult center, but another theory is that it is a solar calendar. The oval outline is made up of 59 large boulders, each of which weighs up to 5 tons. Number 6. Kiruna. Kiruna in Swedish Lapland is the country's northernmost town. 145 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, the city built in the 1890s, and its area have a lot to offer in both summer and winter. For hiking enthusiasts, Kebnekaise is 90 kilometers west of Kiruna and close to the popular Kungsleden hiking trail. It is the highest peak in Sweden and Lapland, with a height of 2,104 meters above sea level. You can discover Sweden's largest wooden building in the city, Kiruna Church from 1912, named often one of Sweden's most beautiful public buildings. The Swedish people voted it Sweden's most famous building. There is space for around 800 people inside, and you can also find the colossal pipe organ, which creates an impressive sound. From September to March, the Kiruna region, within the Auroral Oval, offers fantastic opportunities to see the northern lights, the beautiful different colored lights that you can see dancing across the sky. We recommend visiting Kiruna between October and May if you like genuinely Arctic adventures. The fairy tale snow-blanketed county will last this entire period. Do not miss the dog sledding with amazing huskies. It is one of the best ways to be taken on a tour through a sparkling frozen wonderland. You can also choose from various sled dog activities, including driving your dog sled and even seeing the northern lights on a dog sled tour. About 17 kilometers outside of the city, you can experience the unique atmosphere of the world's first and biggest ice hotel from December to April. This giant ice and snow complex in the village of Jukkasarvi spans over 6,000 square meters. Each suite is unique, and the hotel's architecture has changed each year as they rebuild it from scratch. Artists arrive to create different rooms and decorations made of ice. Besides bedrooms, there is a bar where guests are served various non-alcohol and alcoholic drinks in glasses made of ice from the Torn River. The Ice Chapel here is also immensely popular and operates as a regular church. Around 140 couples get married during the winter, and about 20 children are baptized. Number 7. Visby. In Gotland, on the largest island in Sweden and the Baltic Sea, you will immediately be captivated by its unique character when you visit the city. The Hanseatic city of Visby is arguably the best preserved medieval city in Scandinavia. It is one of the main reasons why this place is so popular with tourists. Among the most notable historical remains are the long town wall that encircles the town center. Built in 2 stages during the 13th and 14th centuries, approximately 3.44 kilometers of its original 3.6 kilometers still stands. Of the 29 large and 22 smaller towers, 27 large and 9 small ones remain. If you enjoy visiting sacral buildings on your travels, be sure not to miss a visit to the 13th century Visby St. Mary's Cathedral, the only preserved medieval church in the city. There are 400 graves under the church floor. The successive church changes throughout the centuries led to an irregular and variegated interior. Close to the port is Almedalen, a well-known park in Sweden, as the leading site of the annual Almedalen Week. The event takes place in week 26 and is considered the most important forum in Swedish politics. August sees the peak of the tourist season and the annual start of the fantastic medieval week. From Sunday to Sunday, the place is overcrowded by people dressed in characteristic medieval costumes. This famous festival started in 1984 and comprises a variety of events: music, gestures, theater, a medieval market, jousting tournaments, and much more. Number 8. Gothenburg. This second largest city in Sweden has the largest port in the Nordic countries. Gothenburg, founded in 1621, was heavily influenced by the Germans, Scots, and Dutch. The town was designed like Dutch cities, such as Amsterdam, Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, and Manhattan in New York City. The must-visit place is Liseberg, the largest amusement park in Scandinavia, with 42 attractions. The complex is among the top amusement parks in the world, with more than 3 million visitors a year. Halloween and the enchanting Christmas season are particularly popular in this place. Take a ride on the big wheel for the best views of Gothenburg. The city is famous for its unique 175-hectare botanical garden. It was opened in 1923 and is considered one of Europe's most essential and beautiful botanical gardens. It has around 16,000 species of plants and trees. The greenhouses contain approximately 4,500 species, including 1,600 orchids. Do not miss the Poseidon statue, one of the city's symbols, in the center of the square. Go to Platsen. Be sure also to visit Gothenburg's concert hall, the art museum, the municipal theater, and the library. The whole area is at the southern end of the 1,000-meter-long avenue, the city's main boulevard with a large concentration of pubs, clubs, and restaurants. For seafood lovers, visit the unique Fish Church. The indoor fish market hall was opened in 1874 and got its name from the building's resemblance to a neo-Gothic church. In this tourist magnet, you can also find a popular seafood restaurant. There is a vast range of freshly caught fish, shellfish, crustaceans, prepared dishes, and ready-to-eat snacks. Another famous landmark of Gothenburg is the Haga district, well known for its picturesque houses, 19th-century atmosphere, and cafes serving the popular Hagenbollen. This enormous sweet cinnamon bun is delicious and has become a synonym for the district. Number 9. Drottningholm Palace. The beautiful Drottningholm Palace, also called the Versailles of the North, is located about 12 kilometers from the capital Stockholm. Construction started in the 16th century, and it is currently the private residence of the Swedish royal family. The rooms in the southern wing of the palace are reserved for this purpose. The rest of the palace and grounds are a popular tourist attraction, open to the public year-round. The palace is one of the most stunning examples of the 18th century Northern European royal residence, inspired by magnificent French architecture. Rooms full of marble sculptures, ceilings decorated with paintings by world-famous artists, and walls with gilded decorations are a testament to the glory and power of the Swedish monarch. Outside of the main building, you can see one of the 50 to 60 soldiers who serve in the Swedish Royal Guards. They are also safeguarding the Royal Palace of Stockholm and have been protecting the royal family for nearly 500 years. On the northern end of Drottningholm Palace is located Royal Chapel, completed in the 18th century. It is still used by the people of Lavone Parish, who worship in the church on the last weekend of every month. In the palace complex, you can find a historical theater and opera house. It is one of the few 18th century theaters in Europe still in use as a theater with its original stage apparatus. And its summer opera festivals are exceedingly popular. If you are a lover of picturesque English parks or admire the perfect symmetry of Baroque gardens, Drottningholm Palace has both. The oldest part of the gardens was created at the end of the 17th century and is complemented by many fountains and beautiful marble and bronze sculptures. On the grounds of the sprawling natural park is located the exotic Chinese Pavilion Pleasure Palace, originally built between 1753 and 1769. You can see here authentic hand-painted paper and silk wall hangings, lacquer screens, porcelain, and other decorative objects imported from China through the Swedish East Indian Company. Number 10. Stockholm. The capital of Sweden, founded in the 13th century, is not only the largest city in the country, but with 1 million people, also the largest in Scandinavia. Stockholm stretches across 14 islands where huge Lake Mälaren flows into the Baltic Sea. One island is also a significant part of the Old Town, Gamla stan. In the center, you can find a large square surrounded by medieval alleyways, cobbled streets, and archaic architecture. North German architecture has strongly influenced the Old Town's construction. Visit here the historical Stockholm Stock Exchange building, constructed between 1773 and 1778. Now home to the Nobel Prize Museum and the Nobel Library, where you can explore the history of the Nobel Prize. Do not miss Stockholm Cathedral in the area. It is the oldest church in the city, and its origins date back to the 13th century. From the beginning, the building has been associated with the Swedish royal family and served as a coronation church for centuries. The tower was built in the early 15th century and was initially intended mainly as a defensive tower. Inside, you will find several outstanding works of art, such as this late medieval sculpture of St. George and the dragon from the 15th century, or the majestic altarpiece made of ebony and silver. This Baroque masterpiece was completed in Hamburg and donated to the cathedral in 1652. Silver reliefs depict the Last Supper, the crucifixion, the burial, and the resurrection of Christ. Close to the cathedral, you can visit the Royal Palace. The original 13th century fortress is now the official residence of the Swedish monarch and the main royal palace. The Royal Guard has been guarding the palace and the royal family since 1523. It is the King of Sweden's cavalry and infantry guards of honor of the Swedish Armed Forces. The palace's interior comprises 1,430 rooms, of which 660 have windows. Some of them are open to the public, including the 18th century Royal Chapel, where organ and classical concerts are held in the summer. Or this Hall of State with a stunning silver throne, which served as a parliamentary hall until 1866. On the eastern tip of Kungsholmen Island, the gorgeous City Hall opened in 1923. It is one of Stockholm's major tourist attractions. The building is dominated by a 106-meter-high tower topped with 3 crowns, Sweden's national symbol. It is accessible by elevator or by 365-step staircase. One of the famous halls, the Blue Hall, is historically named after the first draft of the town hall. In fact, the interior is without blue decorations. Nevertheless, it is still a fantastic piece of architecture. And in this space, banquets are held after the annual Nobel Prize award ceremony. Above the Blue Hall lies the Golden Hall, named after the splendid mosaics, made of more than 18 million decorative tiles. These mosaics make use of motifs from Swedish history. Another impressive hall is Prince's Gallery. It is named after Prince Eugen, the 4th heir to the throne, and one of Sweden's most prominent landscape painters. In this room, he created colorful frescoes called Stockholm Shores. During the town hall tour, You can even visit the council chamber. It is here that the 101 members of the Stockholm City Council meet. These regular meetings are open to visitors, the same as for journalists, with unique sit places on the two sides of the gallery. The painted opening in the beam ceiling is designed to resemble a Viking longhouse. Suppose you would like to know how life was in various parts of Sweden before industrialization. For sure, visit the oldest open-air museum in the country. Skansen, near the city center, was opened in 1891, and there you can find more than 150 historic buildings. Many exhibits over the 30-hectare site include a complete replica of an average 19th century town in which craftsmen in traditional dress demonstrate their skills in period surroundings. This conventional place attracts more than 1.3 million visitors each year. In this same historical building complex, discover an amazing open-air zoo with Nordic wilds, such as wolves, moose, lynxes, wolverines, seals, otters, and more. There are also farmsteads where you can see rare breeds of farm animals. Only 500 meters from the open-air museum, there is another must-visit place. Vasa Museum, opened in 1990, is the most visited non-art museum in Scandinavia. This unique maritime museum displays the only almost fully intact 17th century ship that has ever been salvaged, the 64-gun warship Vasa that sank on her maiden voyage in 1628. Around the boat are numerous exhibits and models portraying the ship's construction, sinking, location, and recovery. Some displays expand on the history of Sweden in the 17th century, providing background information for why the ship was built. Do you like amusement parks? Then visit Gruna Lund, which translates to Green Grove. It is on the same island, less than a 10-minute walk from Vasa Museum. Here you can experience over 30 attractions in the 3.8 hectares area. Since 1883, it has offered fun for children and the older ones, making it the oldest amusement park in Sweden. If you are not afraid of fast drives, do not hesitate to try one of the 8 roller coasters. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more in the future, leave a comment, give a like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.